In this video, I'm going to share how to use the law of attraction and the real truth that no one likes to talk about. First, I'm going to start with the problem with the law of attraction, the way most people understand it and apply it. Then I'm going to talk about the one thing you need to know to apply it effectively. And then I'll dive into a little process that you can use over and over again, you can master, so that you can start to apply the law of attraction effectively. Now, the problem with the law of attraction, the way most people understand it, is that they think it's all about visualizing something. And you just visualize something hard enough and focus on it enough, and then it'll magically appear. Now, there are many problems with this approach actually, but the biggest is that it just doesn't work like that. First, we've got to dive a little bit into the science / philosophy of the law of attraction so you can understand. The idea behind the law of attraction, once you start to dig into it from a scientific perspective, you can see that there's actually a lot of evidence for the law of attraction, especially when you start to look at quantum physics and particularly the quantum field of possibilities, or the 0-point field. The quantum field is, in essence, and I don't really understand it all that well, this is how I understand it and how I conceptualize it. Think of it as the reality that's underneath reality. So think of it as a teeming field of energy and possibility that holds every possibility in the universe, everything that you could want, everything that you could ever desire, everything that ever was, everything that is, everything that ever will be, without space or time. I know that's pretty crazy. Our reality that we see, the here and now, if you look at the holographic universe, and a lot of these quantum scientists have done a lot of research on this, that it's very likely that the reality that we envision, what you and I see around us right here, is actually a projection of this deeper reality. So if you just take that on as a presupposition, right? Like, let's not question it too much. Just that's a good enough explanation for you to understand the law of attraction, which is that what we want to do is we want to influence the field. And by influencing the field, we can impact our reality. Now, the thing is that just visualizing something actually doesn't impact the field. We know from research, from science, that what impacts the field are elevated emotions, an elevated emotional state. What are elevated emotions? Love and appreciation and forgiveness. These are emotions that are elevated. And when we elevate our emotions and we can really tap into love and appreciation and forgiveness truly from the heart, then we start to impact the field, and that's when we can start to create new things in our lives. And by the way, these emotions have to be emotional. They have to be real. They can't be fake. So I don't know about you, but in the past, before I started doing all this fun work, love, appreciation, forgiveness, they were very conceptual for me. Let's talk about appreciation, for example. I could conceptually recognize that there were things in my life to be grateful for. I could conceptually see, like, I have enough food on the table. I have clothes on my back. I have a good business. I have a loving family. I should be appreciative. Therefore, I appreciate. But it wasn't a feeling that really took over my body. I couldn't actually feel the feeling of deep appreciation very often. It wasn't an easy place for me to go if I wanted to. Like, I could maybe get there, but it wasn't easy. It wasn't easily accessible to me. In which case, from that place, if I were trying to apply the law of attraction, I would be doing it from up here. And the way the law of attraction works is from down here. It's like really feeling the emotions. The process that I'm going to share with you is a way of opening yourself up so that you can feel these emotions, elevate your emotional state, and from that place, visualize what you want to create and start to see the manifestation of that in your life. Before I go on and give you the process that I know you're waiting for, why don't you take a moment, like my channel, subscribe, maybe even make a comment below. Tell me about your experience with attraction and manifesting. Okay, so before I get into the actual 6 steps that I put together, I want to tell you where I got these from. I didn't make them up. I started down this journey and I discovered a lot of things along the way. And over the years, I've gotten a lot of experience, a lot of wisdom from a lot of different people. So the process I'm going to share with you is sort of a collection from a combination of The Field by Lynn McTaggart, The 12 Stages of Healing by Donald Epstein, Busting Loose from the Money Game by Rob Scheinfeld, and Beyond Victim Consciousness by Lynn McTaggart, and many, many more. Oh, and The Holographic Universe by Michael Talbot. The process is 6 steps of basically diving into emotions, heightening those emotions, moving those emotions through, and then elevating emotions, and from that place, manifesting or creating the thing or setting the intention or visualizing what it is you want to create in your life. So step 1 is to dive into discomfort and or feel the feelings. And what I mean by that is whatever area of your life that you're looking to transform, chances are there's some sort of struggle, dissatisfaction, or suffering associated with that area. First, we've got to address that and move that through before we can elevate the emotions and create something new, which means that you've got to dive into the discomfort. You've got to go to the areas that are stuck, that are bound, that are uncomfortable, and actually feel. Which brings me to number 2. We want to heighten the feeling. I know this feels counterintuitive. I told you to elevate emotions. Now I'm telling you to feel negative emotions. Well, that's what we have to do. We've got to heighten the feeling, intensify the feeling of discomfort as high as we can. And from allowing that to bubble up as much as we can and then express it through sound, screams, stomping, crying, wailing, growling, whatever the sounds are that want to come through. Sound is a really powerful access point to elevate emotions. We allow it to move through as long as it wants. Now, it might take a minute, it might take 10 minutes, it might take a couple of hours. Usually doesn't take much longer than that. And sometimes we need multiple bouts, right? But we let it move through until it's done with us. We don't try to stop crying. We don't try to make it stop. We just let it all the way out. And if there's more, there's more. Once that happens, it's like a wave that moves through. Step 3 is to observe what comes through. Observe what new wisdom shows up. Grab a journal, write it down, write. Just capture everything that comes through, because following that wave of emotion is always new wisdom. It's like the scales falling from our eyes. Once we allow ourselves to feel the feeling, we can see what's beyond the feeling. And there's always something available beyond the feeling. And from that new availability, naturally we start to, you don't have to do anything, you don't have to try. Naturally, the gratitude and the appreciation and the love starts to heighten. So then what we want to do is the same process again, is heightening that gratitude, heightening the love, heightening the appreciation, and stating what is true, right? What is true is I decide my life. I am a powerful creator. I am co-creating my life with divine love and in service of the divine. Whatever it is, whatever feels true for you, but basically elevating your emotions and opening up your body at the same time. And then from that place of having elevated emotions, step 5 is to declare what you're creating next, to declare what it is you're intending, to declare what experience you want to have, what beautiful thing you want to live. And you'll find that if before you were like, I want a Ferrari, generally, once you've done this process, what you want is different. It's usually something bigger, it's something higher, it's something more in service, it's something more contribution oriented. But whatever it is, it's fine. Just open yourself up to desire. I desire abundance. I claim my self-worth. I claim power. I claim expression. I claim poetry. I claim becoming a rock star. Whatever it is that's moving through you, declaring it again through the sound, but from this place of elevated emotion. And then the last step, which is also maybe counterintuitive, is from that place of having expressed it and put it out there and declared it and claimed it, let it go. Put it on the altar and say this or something else, and allow yourself to be detached or unattached from this thing that you've just declared. Now, I know that sounds crazy, but the idea is that when you allow it, when you detach from it, you allow the universe to bring you what is truly in service of your highest self. And it could be something beyond your wildest imagination. I hope this was helpful for you. And if you're looking to incorporate more of these practices into your business growth, if you're a consultant, a coach, a speaker, an author, someone who's looking to make an impact on the world, and you want to do it with grace and ease and joy and magic, then set up a call. You can find me at superstardiscoverycall.com.